Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start.
Another great week of burning questions. Yes, the tab Eureka is on in Sydney, and there's a strong Victorian representation, 6 in fact in that race. We'll speak about that in just a moment, but a terrific card of action at Melton Entertainment Park on Saturday night as well. Look at this star-studded lineup we've got here. We'll start with our special guest this week, Taylor Youl, who, might I say, in her last 10 drives has had 3 wins and 2 placings, including Kiang Omar, who she turned in a peach last week at $61 in running second at Melton Entertainment Park, if you don't mind. She's in hot form at the moment, and she joins us on Burning Questions. G'day, Taylor.
How you going, Ryan? Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you on. Well, there's no other way to describe him than the GOAT. He is the GOAT tipster of harness racing. Darren, Carroll, anytime we can speak to you and get your thoughts, mate, it's our absolute pleasure. Hello to you.
After the clinic you put on last week, Ryan, I'm just sitting in your company is a good thing for me.
Darren, as they say, one hot day doesn't make a summer. And obviously, Bronte Nieuwenburg, who we're proud to say won't be at Melton Entertainment Park tomorrow night because she will be at Menangle, and she'll be on Sky Racing's coverage of the great race. She'll be repping the Vics up there trackside and doing all of those pre-race and post-race interviews. Hello, Bronte, and you must be very excited.
I'm so excited, Ryan. Thanks for having me on, and that's such a nice wrap. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping the weather is nice in Sydney. It's a little bit rainy out here today, but I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be a fantastic night of racing at Menangle. Yeah,
let's hope for the club that it's a great night. And, you know, yes, in some ways they're rivals, but any night that it's a successful night on a harness racing track, I think we all win. So we really do wish them the best of luck, and to the Vics also. And obviously, we've got some great sponsors on this program, and Australian Pacing Gold with their yearling sale dates for 2026 are locked in back in 5 states this year, and coinciding with some of the biggest events in the harness racing calendar with their Melbourne sale on Hunter Cup weekend and Sydney sale on Miracle Mile weekend. The APG sales are the place to be in 2026, so head over to apgold.com.au for all of the details. Let's start burning questions, and let's start with the Eureka. The question is, the Eureka boasts a record 6 Vics. Let me ask you for all of your picks. All right, Bronte, we might go with you first because you've had your head in the form guide all week ahead of this program at Menangle. Can one of the Vics take it out?
I do think it's going to be a Victorian victory. Outside of the Victorian runners, I do like Fade Away. So that's probably the one runner outside of the Vics I think can win this or potentially hesitate, although I think the Vics still kind of have that claim on him a little bit there. But I do find this race quite interesting because Go Mickey was the horse initially before even the runners were selected. I thought if I could own a horse, if I could be a slot holder, which one would it be? And I said Go Mickey from the start because this horse has always impressed me. I loved how Clayton spoke about this horse throughout his whole career. We don't know how good he is. That's the problem is, you know, I'm a sectionals girl. We don't know how good he goes because he's so untapped. We don't know how much better he is going to be, and he will have to prove that this weekend. I'm just surprised by his odds there. You know, I know he's young, and I just think he might be the best each way play there at $15 and $3.30 there. However, if I do need to put the sectionals hat back on, I need to look at what I know, my safe zone, what my key to success or Mickey to success did. Last start at Menangle was outstanding. And if he can replicate that race on times, it is so much better than the rest of this field. So you'd think being a 4-year-old as well, he has that advantage there, and fantastic to Jackie Barker to get that drive. So on numbers, I need to have my key to success on top, but my heart wants Go Mickey.
Yeah, we're saying my key to success, aren't we? Obviously by Go Mickey. And I was calling it my key to success early, and then everyone was calling it Mickey to success, and now it seems to be my key to success. But any way you call it, I'm sure they would love Fred Hastings to be calling it the winner. DC, you've seen all of these Victorian horses. They're a pretty good bunch, aren't they? Obviously, you know a lot about the 4-year-olds, Bay of Biscay and Fighter Commander. Wouldn't that be a great story if Jess Tubbs, in the memory of her late husband, Greg, can take out this race? It'd be special. But there's other terrific stories. Emma obviously has won this race before with in Cypher. She's got a strong chance with 4. I'd love to see Jeff Webster, you know, a legendary trainer, get it done with See the Stars. So a strong Victorian representation. Who are you with?
Yeah, it's so third edition of this race, and no doubt the most challenging as far as trying to find the winner is concerned, I think. Like, as you've said before, 6 3-year-olds and 4 4-year-olds, which meant the barrier draws a little bit more mixed up than what it had previous years as well. Look, really tough. I think, as well as the fact that it's such an even field, we've got an outstanding group of drivers as well, and a few drivers driving the race for the first time, and it's unbelievable to see opportunities for Ryan Sanderson and Jackie Barker and also James Herbertson from a Victorian point of view. Some of our young up-and-comers getting opportunity on the biggest stage. So, look, my head said I have no idea, such an even race. So my heart said, well, I've got to be on Fighter Command. I just think it's just such a great story. I can't go against the fact that he was outstanding last week in running second to Catch Away. That was last week or the week before. If you look at his whole preparation, it's been outstanding. His Tasmanian run was very, very soft. Then they ran home in unbelievable times and he got pipped by Catch Away. If you take Catch Away out of that equation, he's got home in 25 something and won the race. So, really even, but I think the best drive will probably win the race. So it's going to be challenge for James, but no doubt about that. You got the best the guy that did the job, and I'll be cheering for the Victorian and everyone's favourite, I think, Fighter Command.
Yeah, be a great story. Taylor, do you have an opinion on the Eureka this year?
Yeah, well, it's definitely very hard. I think it's quite even. Everyone knows, like, Fighter Command is a favourite of probably a lot of people, so to see him win would be fantastic. But yeah, it's definitely very even. Like Hesitate, we know Luke McCarthy, he's won it before. He knows how to win it. He's going to have his horse spot on and ready to go for the night, as well as Grant Dixon as well. And obviously Emma and Clayton, they do a fantastic job. So, you know, the trainers, the drivers and all the horses are probably quite even, and it's going to be a great race to watch. But probably from the draws, maybe I'd have Hesitate on top, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you, Taylor. I mean, I wanted to tip one of the Vics, and, you know, my default under these conditions, 3 and 4-year-olds, you know, there's no mares, so I'd normally go first to a mare from a barrier draw advantage, then I'd go to a 4-year-old. But the more I looked at this race, with that disparity that you mentioned, DC, with the 6 3-year-olds to the 4-year-olds, I actually think it's a bit of a disadvantage in some respects for the 4-year-olds this year. And the more I looked at the map, I just saw those horses really having to burn hard. And you go back through some of these big races, not just the Eureka at Menangle, it's really hard to do it at both ends. And Luke McCarthy's just a master at that. You know, he drives Menangle so well, and Hesitate seemingly has a sense of timing about him, I think. He worked last week at Menangle and apparently worked really well. So
have him finding the front and then taking a sit. Is that your Mac? Or?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know about that, Darren, because I think, and you'd know, I think See the Stars is probably one of the quickest off the gate.
Yeah.
So I think what Will Rickson will want to do, he won't want to be any further back than 3 pegs. Yeah, so I think
See the Stars, Hesitate and Fade Awaits with their gate speed would all be looking to take a sit. So
yes.
I think that's, isn't it?
Yeah, and Luke McCarthy, rarely is he aggressive off the arm at Menangle, and particularly over this trip. So I think he'll just balance him out. I think he'll let them go. And then it just depends how much work a Fighter Command or a Bay of Biscay potentially has to do to work over. So I was wanting that horse that doesn't get involved in that speed burn. So I didn't have him getting involved in that speed burn and being strong late. But great race.
The horse that's either 2 or 3 fence or 1 out, 1 back, getting the split at about the 300 and then getting over top of them. That's how you're seeing it?
Yeah, pretty much. And you know, there's no reason why that couldn't be a horse like Go Mickey, you know, right. You know, who Bronte referenced as well. So it's going to come down to the best drive, like you said, Darren, you know, luck and running. And, you know, whilst it's in many respects, it appears now not the greatest crop comparatively to the Eureka, I think we might be saying something very different in 12 months from now, because I think this bunch of 3-year-olds is really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so look, it'll be a race that we'll look forward to, but we've got to concentrate too on Melton Entertainment Park on Saturday night, because there's a ripping card there where our special guest Taylor will play a strong hand in. And our question 2 is sponsored by Pride's Easy Feed and stands as a proud supporter of harness racing with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result that you've been chasing. Well, question 2 is about race number 4 on the program at Melton Entertainment Park. And the question is, the Tatlow for the babies is tough. Will the result be rough? Well, the market is already out at the moment for this race. And Emma Stewart, as we so often see in these juvenile races, has the favourite Let's Start in Heaven over Tappy for Jess Tubbs and Glenn Craven. I might start with you here, Taylor, because you have a drive in the race covered in gold for Jamie Kirk. Now, let me just give a shout out to Jamie Kirk. Does such a great job with a small team. He's striking at 30% this season, which is terrific considering the small numbers he has. What would he have, Taylor? He'd probably only have, 3, 4, 5 in work?
Yeah, well, he's only got them 3 racehorses up and going at the moment. And I think he's got a young one as well that he got from the sales, so he's just working that as well. So, no, he does a fantastic job and he's very good to me. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for him.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy too. I had a chance to chat to him before you drove Perrin to victory a couple of months back, and no, he does a really good job. So tell us about this one, covered in gold. Looked pretty good at Cranbourne. Good early gate speed. How did you see the race?
Yeah, he was quite good at Cranbourne. You know, he fired up a bit off the gate. He's got quite good gate speed, but he then settled after a couple hundred. He come right back to me, and we were able to get a very cheap sectional, which probably won him the race. But he still held him comfortable. He sort of just waited for him a little bit. So, yeah, I was quite happy with that run. He sent us out a trial at Cranbourne again on Sunday. Trialled okay. So, yeah, probably 4. I actually haven't spoken to Jamie about this race, whether we use him out of the gate or because it's open to 22, if we try and take him off the gate and let him come with one run. I'm not too sure about that just yet. But Tappy has been quite good at both of his starts on debut, and then he obviously won last start, and he's got barrier 1, so that's probably a big advantage for him. But, yeah, it is probably another quite even race. I see probably pretty hard one, yeah.
Darren, I'll come to you. I looked at the speed map here, and then I just went back and looked at Tappy, and he's sort of a bit of a big boy, isn't he? I don't know whether he's sort of push button out of the gate just yet either, and sort of looked at some of the others. I see Redkin come out. Carapaz came out the other day pretty well on the short backup here for Matty Craven. How did you see the map, and how did you line up these babies?
Yeah, Tappy's run at Kilmore was quite interesting, wasn't he? He had gate 3 or 4 from memory, and he certainly held his own on that occasion. So I think he's got quite good gate speed. But I see Red's got gate speed, but he likes to take a sit. Covered in gold, showed gate speed, there's no doubt about that. But the one out wide in Let's Start in Heaven, he crossed from gate 6 in the qualifying race at Ballarat. So he's got really good gate speed. Aggressive driver in Jason Lee. I reckon they'll chance their arm. I reckon they'll have a crack and try and cross from out wide. The 2200 brings horses like Kitsbull Delight into it, because I just think he's got Stayer written all over him as well. So it's a really good race as far as how
that's an interesting one too, Daz, isn't it? Because in the Nutrient, Kitsbull Delight won, and I think he was about 150 to 1 that time, and actually beat this horse Let's Start in Heaven, who on that occasion had every possible chance behind the leader when Jimmy Herb drove. I know it's had the one start in that sort of proto-start qualifier since, but it's interesting. It just doesn't give me the feeling like he's an Emma Stewart A-grader, but probably just by virtue of how thin this race is, he still might get away with it.
Yeah, 7th, 8th, 9th or 10th best one. He'll be good enough for this, and that's no disrespect to the others at this stage, because a horse like Kitsbull Delight looks like a 3-year-old written all over it to me. He'll just get better and better. And the same with Tappy. I think what we've seen of him, he looks like he's a late type maturer. So, look, I had Tappy on top if he found leaders back. That's sort of how I mapped it. If he sat leaders back, then he gets the last opportunity. And, it's around about $3, $3.50, and I thought that was about the right price for him.
Yeah, I think. Look, I've gone in this race for the Emma Stewart runner in Let's Start in Heaven. Did trial pretty well at Terang. It's worth noting, with Jason Lee driving on that occasion as well. If mind you, if he does find the lead and Tappy's on his back, I'd reckon I'd want to swap my tips mid race. But just with that added fitness as well with Tappy as well. Bronte, your thoughts?
Yeah, that race that Darren's referring to, the Rising Sun or Rising Star, that was at Ballarat. Let's Start in Heaven. I don't think even Clayton expected it to find the front, and Jason was driving it there then. And the way it came off the arm, I've rarely seen a 2-year-old do that. It was remarkable. If he's not the best 2-year-old, which we know he's not in that age group of Clayton and Emma's, he's definitely got the best gate speed, I would say, out of all of them. He's just outstanding. So if that is his best asset, they're going to use it, and I do think he'll find the front there. I know that I was talking to James Herbertson about Tappy, and he has this horse at quite a high regard. He really likes Tappy, and I know he's not driving it because he's out driving Fighter Command, the stablemate, in Menangle on Saturday night. But Herbie said that in his trial where he came second, I believe, to Cyclone Jenny, this was before his last race, Herbie said that although Cyclone Jenny beat him, Tappy still had his earplugs in and he was traveling really, really well. And Herbie said this horse is going to continue to progress. And if Herbie speaks highly of a horse, you have to respect it there too. And I don't think we really know how good Tappy is going to be just yet. So I'm going to stick with Let's Start in Heaven, but I agree that if Tappy can hold its back, I would be very, very nervous if I was Jason Lee in front, knowing you have that behind you.
Yeah, I've got to find out whether Tappy's named after the great John Tapp as well. Surely you'd have to think it would be. Any thoughts? No?
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
You think so? I'll do some research on Saturday night and try to come up with an answer. Let's get into our next question. And the question here is thanks to Logical Staffing Solution, which provides labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. The logical solution for your staffing needs. So this is about race 5, question 3. And in race 5, Spinocio looks the go. Is it Taylor's Phoenix or Got Feelings You Know? Of course, Taylor drives Remus Phoenix and Chris Spinocio trains both Remus Phoenix and Got Feelings You Know. Do we read into this, Taylor? Do you get the B set and Chris gets the A set, or is it what you'd work with at home, or how does it work?
Yeah, well, I love Remus Phoenix, so yeah, it's been good to be able to drive him his last few runs, and Got Feelings, Chris and Roscoe, they've been sharing him a little bit. Got Feelings, has beat Remus Phoenix on every occasion I think that he's raced him. But this time Remus gets the inside draw of him, which has got to help him a little bit, and I thought his run last week was quite good, even though probably doesn't look so good on paper, but yeah, he was quite good last week. So hopefully I can get one up on him this week.
Yeah, I actually agonised over this a little bit. I really wanted to tip Remus Phoenix. So I agree, Taylor. I didn't think the run was that bad last week. And, I thought the form prior is quite good, and that advantage was with the draw was important as well. And just a lot of the others, I just really couldn't trust in the race. So I kept coming back to those two. But I thought Got Feelings, just probably looks a little bit more bulletproof. Daz, what did you think?
Yeah, really good race. There's quite a funny sub-story to this, and I'm sure they won't mind me sharing it, but there were celebrations held for the Inter Dominion on the weekend, and Ash Haynes, the owner of Remus Phoenix, had told Taylor that Got Feelings should be named Got Bills because he's on Remus Phoenix and he wants to make sure everyone knows you've got bills to pay. So
very good.
I love Remus Phoenix as a horse, always liked him. I just think that if you go back and look at the form lines between the two, his sectionals when he was getting home late from well back against Got Feelings, when Got Feelings, put those couple of races together, he broke the clock on those occasions, and just really love the way he's getting to the line. This is the first time he's drawn somewhere close enough to be close enough to him on the corner, whether that means that, say, for instance, if Remix led and took a sit on Got Feelings, I'm just a little bit concerned about Got Feelings, his manners in the last 100. He seems to trot rough under a lot of pressure. If that happens to be the case and Remix is close enough to him on the corner, then I know which one I want to be on. And I'm really confident that this is the right race for Remus Phoenix and one of the better bets of the night for me.
Wow, there you go. Good push. Bronte.
Yeah, I have similar concerns to Daz as with Got Feelings, he's trotting action up the straight and he's going to be pushed because he's drawn barrier 7. I don't know if he finds the front here because there's so many nice horses drawn inside of him. So he's going to have to do it tough, Got Feelings, and then he's going to become vulnerable late, although I do think he's the standout ability-wise in this field. Remus Phoenix, he's a Volstead, so naturally I have always liked this horse and followed him from the start. And even when he first started racing, it was one start before he went to Sydney where he was really eye-catching to me as a young horse. And I want to stick with him just because I know how talented he can be, but I'm going to lean with Got Feelings, and just hope that he gets some luck in the run so then he's not vulnerable late with his action. But maybe a good each way play in this race could be the way to go with a horse like More Wanted or a True Story, because a True Story continually is racing so well this preparation, but continues to find bad luck. And from barrier 3, maybe we won't get that bad luck this race.
I haven't locked away my tips yet. After your push there, Darren and Taylor, I might switch back to Remus Phoenix, I think.
Ryan, can I just say Key and Gucci trialled really good at Terang as well. Clocked it in 57.7. I know it's first up, but it was a really soft trial as well. So certainly have it in the calculations too. Yeah.
Can it be trusted out of the gate, driven off the arm, you think?
I don't think they'll be really pushing it hard, no.
Okay. One I thought might be good odds as well for the place was Little Yankee. Sat parked first up last week. I mean, this is a horse when it's just driven cold, it can really dash home. So, probably barrier 1's a perfect draw for it as well if you're looking for exotics. Yeah. All right, let's get into our next question, which is race 6. The free-for-all is over the sprint trip. Does Triple Eight get it done, or is Kiang Tokyo the go? But Taylor, you've got Rakajed. Maybe you can cause an upset here. What did you think about your chances?
Yeah, Rakajed, he's quite a funny horse. You sort of never know what sort of horse you're going to get, what gate speed you're going to get on the night. But in saying that, he never runs a bad race and he's very, very honest and he's very tough. So, yeah, they've done a great job with him. He probably 12 months or so ago, he was racing the up to 55s. So to come all this way, they've done a fantastic job with him.
Yeah, really.
It looks quite a strong race as well. Like Louis Luai, he's been flying, in my opinion, without winning. He's been going really, really well. Obviously, Triple Eight hasn't run a bad race in a long time. And Tokyo, he's been going really good as well. So it's going to be hard. There looks to be a bit of speed off the front with Operative Line, Louis Luai. So, yeah, I'm not really sure who finds the front here. I'll be coming out as hard as I can. But as I said, I'm not sure what horse I'm going to get on Saturday night. And they're probably a little bit quick for me out of the gate. But hopefully I don't have to do too much work.
Yeah, it's an interesting map, isn't it, Bronte? Rakajed can come out when it wants to, but then you've got Operative Line flies out, Louis Luai flies out. That's why I thought it might have been a bit of a banana skin for Kiang Tokyo, who, where you look at the map, you think it naturally slides forward. But over these sorts of trips, I worry about when horses have to do too much work to burn the candle at both ends. That's why I went Triple Eight, because I think over the short trip, when they just run along, that's the sort of, race that he really likes. And he's probably, as far as national ratings are concerned, this is the best free-for-all he's contested in a while. What were your thoughts, Bronte?
Well, I'm sticking with Kiang Tokyo because my favourite asset about Kiang Tokyo is actually how tough he is and how he loves to race and he tries his hardest, especially last campaign and last year when he raced. That was my favourite asset of his, and I think he might actually benefit maybe just from having to really work a little bit. I know that probably sounds counterproductive to what you would suggest with a horse, but I do think it might actually suit him. He won't switch off, not saying that he does, but he'll have something to race. And I do think Triple Eight's going to be his biggest threat. It all comes down to this race map because Operative Line, he loves leading at Melton, and I know that the connections travel very far to get there. They're not coming there to place. They will want to win on Operative Line. So if he does find the front, does he take a sit? If he does take a sit, it will probably be on a horse like Kiang Tokyo. If Louis Luai finds the front, he will probably take a sit on a horse like Kiang Tokyo. So same with Rakajed. I'm not sure if Taylor will want to hold the front there if you find it. So King Tokyo is either going to be in front or in the chair. And, if it was 2,200, I think he'd be vulnerable. But I'm happy to stick with him, but it's going to be very close because we know how fast Triple Eight can storm home.
Just on that, Taylor, I know I've asked you about Rakajed before. Normally, if he does happen to show speed and find the front, you don't normally like taking cover if you can avoid it, do you?
No, so if he finds the front, I won't be taking any cover. Yeah, my chances of finding the front probably aren't that high, but if I happen to find the front, I won't be giving it up, that's for sure.
Worth noting too, DC, that Karen Manning goes on for Jackie Barker on Operative Line. First question about the map. Do you think Operative Line finds the front? If it does it hold? And after that, your tip?
Yeah, Rakajet, I can't see that Rakajet would kick through and hold. Frugal Fair looked like it was going to cross him the last time Rakajet led and went rough. So they look like they've got a bit too much speed for him, I would have thought. So Operative Line or Louis Luai. I probably think Operative Line finds the top, but Louis Luai does get out quick. Depends if they overdo it. If they overdo it, then they might have to hand up to a horse like Tokyo, but Tokyo can dictate from in the death. The class runners of Tokyo and Triple Eight, you look at their ratings, they're rating 109, 115. They've been racing against the free-for-alls all the time. So they're the two picks for me, but I've got Tokyo in front just because I think that he'll be either leader or death seat and dictate the race from there. But I would hugely respect Triple Eight as well.
Betting race for you?
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, it comes to that time. Thanks to Sharp's Bakery in Birchip. It's our best bet. So you can go with one of your own, or you can tip something else on the card that you think looks a good thing. Taylor, we'll start with you.
I'm going to stick faithful with Remus Phoenix, and I'm going to go with him.
Okay.
Each way, just to be safe.
Well, I might go to Darren Carroll next then. You said it was nearly your best on the card, Daz.
Well, it was interesting. Before Taylor even came on, I said to someone, I'm going to tip Remus Phoenix as my best tonight. And, I'm going to stick with Remus Phoenix as my best. I like the odds that look like they're going to be on offer. And, I think Taylor will get the job done. Remus Phoenix.
Well, this worked last week, Daz, because we all made Fighter Command pretty much our best last week, and he got up. So hopefully that's a good omen. Bronte, what about not just your best at Melton Entertainment Park? Did you find one other at Menangle, perhaps?
I'm actually struggling to find a best bet on either card because these are such competitive racing. So, look, Storm Rider I think is probably a safe bet, but he's going to be too short. That's race 7, number 3, and there's another runner I like racing on Saturday night at Melton, and Taylor hasn't tipped this horse, but she's driving it. That's Phelan, race 3, number 7. So I thought if we're going to be looking for some value, I'm not sure what he's going to open in the market. He's going to need all the luck, but it could be a good each way or place or even a win bet. I'm not sure what his odds are going to be. Daz might be able to help me there.
I reckon it'd be double each way odds, so it'd be anywhere between $12 and $14, I would have thought. But I agree, Bronte. He wasn't too bad last time. It seems he pulled really hard. So.
Yeah,
all right,
so
we're putting the pressure on you here then, Taylor. What's your thoughts on Perrin?
Yeah, I thought he was okay last time. Obviously, barrier 7, he's going to need a lot of luck. He's going to have to go back and come with a run. So, yeah, he's going to need luck, but if he gets luck, I'm sure he won't be far away.
Yeah, he's been a good horse to me, Perrin. I'm a big fan of him. Well, good luck, Bronte. Now, my best bet on the program on Saturday night is Curio Gentleman in race number 1. This horse is absolutely flying. Its first up run was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it finished second last week, Daz.
How did it get beat?
Did you back it last week?
Yeah, I was on last week.
It was about $14, $16, wasn't it?
I didn't get that kind of price, but yeah. When they went past me, I thought it had it actually, and I was about 20 metres from the post, and crying shame. No.
Pretty keen on him. I thought he'd lead, Daz. Did you think he'd lead race 1?
Yeah, I thought he could lead. The John Justice horses there are quite interesting. They might make it hard, and a couple of Mildura horses making their way to the Big Smoke for the first time, and they're really, really nice horses. So don't let them under your guard. That's tough ain't enough in race 1. And in later on in the night, drawn the pole. Where is it? No, I've lost it. Oh, yeah, race 2, My Ultimate Jimmy. So it's rare to see some Razor horses come to town, especially
Yes.
since Razor trained, and these two are really, really nice horses.
DC, where will I chat to you tomorrow on Friday Form Panel on SEN? Will you be making the trip to Sydney or will you be at Melton on Saturday night?
No, I'll be at home. I'll be watching the football at 3:00 with the game. I'll be tuned in from home.
That's right. There's another sport on at the moment outside of harness racing called the AFL Finals, which we're looking forward to. Good luck, Daz, and chat to you soon. Thanks for being on Burning Questions. Bronte, good luck on Saturday night. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It's going to be fantastic.
And Taylor, good book of drives to you. I look forward to chatting to you on Sky Racing and Trots Vision on Saturday night. Best of luck, and we really thank you for your time on Burning Questions today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start of...
He's trying to get across.